tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
We feel a little warmer now.
Good song.
And we all sit around.
A good song to kind of take a break on.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Sweet. See you in a few weeks type of thing. It's a good song. It's a good song. Welcome back, everyone, to AfterBuzz TV. You are tuning in for the winter finale, mid-season finale, whatever they're calling it these days. Episode 12 of Scorpion, called Damn Breakthrough. Damn. Thanks for joining us once again. I am Monse Bolanos. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. And across from me, we have Susannah Kim.
Hello, you guys. You can find me on Twitter at Susannah_Kim and on Instagram at Susannah Kim.
Yeah, before we officially get started, we gotta say thank you to everyone who has been with us these 12 weeks.
Yes, the whole season.
The whole season, been through ups and downs with these tappy relationships and Paige and Walter. We've been through it all. We really appreciate you guys being here.
Yes,
specifically,
thank you guys. We want to give out some shout outs. One of the comments I saw made me laugh out loud. JC Fang said, "I've had this tab open for 3 hours." Awesome.
Thank you.
Susan Star said, "Bring on Susannah and Monse." Thank you. Corby1, Ivan Soto. All you guys are always here talking to us every week. We so appreciate it. So it's not just us sitting here. I mean, we could talk for we would.
We still do it.
But we love having you guys talk with us and joining us.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. We have man, you guys are just on this. I love it. Joshua Haley. Thank you guys.
We appreciate it.
I love it.
It's gonna be a sad few weeks without you guys and without Scorpion.
I miss you guys.
But let's get right to it.
Yes.
So
such a good episode.
Such a good episode, right?
Yeah.
A good way to end.
Lots of emotion.
A lot of emotion. We progressed a lot, and it was also a jam-packed, obviously filled episode.
Yeah.
With stuff happening from the beginning to the end. So much happens on this show. It boggles my mind. And then there are other shows I watch, and I'm like, nothing changed in 1 hour. Nothing. We're in the same spot we were 45 minutes ago that I gave you my time.
I felt that way about the end of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that
was
was
really nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This was good. We got a lot of stuff, action. We got stories with like their little couples happening. Although I think a lot of our viewers were kind of upset that they didn't get a wage kiss.
Really? I'm good. We got one.
Yeah, we got one.
We
yeah,
got
exactly.
one. And
But,
so
it's a question. Which one do you prefer? Is there a preference? Should we just be grateful that we got anything at all?
I think we should be grateful we got progression in both.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know if I prefer one or the other. Like, I'm just wondering, do I prefer one or the other? I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Maybe if you ask me another day, I will. I don't know. Right now.
But dang. I mean, I know we're going to get to it. That kiss was so good.
Yeah, that
was a
so
good kiss. Laid it on her.
All of that. That whole...
Love
and when
it.
I first... We'll get there. Well, why are we talking about it now? This is what happens, and then we don't get into
distracted.
it. All right. So, episode starts. Poor Sylvester having to do with the weather. It's raining. He's like trying to catch the drops that are going through the cracks on the ceiling of their garage.
El Nino.
Ralph and Happy are like decorating the tree, and so is Paige. Toby runs in with ammonium nitrate, and he's like, I just dented Cape's car. I hope he doesn't care. No big deal. And Walter, this is like instantly from when this episode starts, we are already shown that Walter is going through something a little different than he's been going through, where he's been talking to himself. Like right away, we see him talking to himself.
It's weird.
Yeah, he has Ferret Bueller with him. It's just cute. Dude, this episode with the ferret. It was so cute. I loved it.
It's all casual.
Okay, right? Just chilling.
So quiet while we hate.
Right?
Love
Such a good ferret.
They're
and
good pets.
just talking to her or him. Her.
Ferret Bueller.
Ferret Bueller, whatever. I think he said, well, no. Maybe
Is it her because he was talking
about Megan? Okay. Well,
you guys
ferret.
let us know.
Yeah, let us
I'm
know
sure
if
you'll
you
tell
know
us.
if the ferret
a
is
boy or a girl. Have you guys checked?
a girl. We have no idea. We may have forgotten. But he has Farrah, and he's like talking to him, her, and Walter's like the first thing we see. He's talking to himself. Paige finds it weird that he's talking to himself, makes a comment, and is like, Toby's back. Like, come on. And he's like, oh, okay, great. He has the ammonium nitrate, and basically Walter is trying to create a snow that does not melt.
Yes.
And that resorts can use it and not have to exchange it or get new snow for 7 to 8 years or something.
Right, exactly. Which, I mean, considering California has no water or anything right now, it seems like a good idea. Real quick, we have a question from Steven Starr.
Yes.
It says, hey, Monse, what does your shirt say?
My shirt says, what the elf.
What the elf?
What the elf. You know, it's in the holiday season time.
Yes.
It's appropriate. What
So
the elf.
cute.
I
Yes.
can't have it say anything else, you know.
I love it.
Gotta keep it classy.
And thanks to Chanela commenting on my hair. Love it. Gosh, those are my favorite. I'm just kidding.
Actually, I was just telling her that her hair looks fabulous.
We were talking about each other. She's like, look at Monse's hair. She got a haircut. I mean, you guys see us every week. So.
Yeah, but her hair does look good. Anywho, that would be ridiculous to create snow that doesn't melt, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it for 7 to 8 years.
That would save so much money.
Right. He was trying to patent it, and he was trying to test it. So he had like a sled that he was on with Ferret Bueller, and Ferret Bueller had like a little hat on at this point. The whole time, like even when Paige was holding the ferret, she like put it on her like chest and was like just snuggling with it. It was so cute. Exactly. Wow. God, that was on Cusack. Thank you. It was adorable. It was so freaking cute. So point, I want a ferret.
Yeah.
How does one get one?
They're awesome. You got to go to Vegas because you can't buy them here in California.
So I'm going to have an illegal pet? Is what you're telling me? Okay, cool. I'm down for that.
I think you're allowed to have them. You just can't buy them, which I don't know how that makes sense, but...
That's good. All right. You're allowed to have it, but you can't buy it. Perfect. It makes perfect sense. Just like never mind. I was going to say... Okay, anywho, so they find out that there is a crushed tree. A tree has fallen at the Augustine Power Station near or at Mount Baldy. It just completely crushed it, and they are the only ones to go for many reasons. People are working 18 hours.
DWP's totally tied up. With all the El Nino stuff and flooding.
And it's Christmas Eve.
Right, exactly.
Which Toby asks for triple time. I don't think they're going to get it. But basically, if they can't help, 100,000 people lose power on Christmas. So they got to go do it.
Right.
The plan is, it's raining still at this point. So what they are thinking of doing is creating a tarp, basically, that will divert the water away from the crack of the power station.
Yes.
Yeah. Using big balloons from Happy's
used car, or Dad's used car
mechanic
lot.
Yes. Because they're
totally ridiculous.
Right, because they're trying to prevent a mudslide from happening at this point.
Gorillas saving y'all's lives. Right?
Right? Yeah. And while they're talking to the guy on the screen, the one that's telling them this information, it's funny when he's like, I'm sending you the passcode to access, and Sylvester's like, I'm already in there. We're already seeing this.
Mr. Woodbury.
And this is also the second time we see Walter kind of talking to himself. He's drawing something on the board, which at this point, I felt like it was a little weird that Paige got upset. Because they were all standing, maybe I just took it differently. They were all standing kind of like in a half circle, staring at the screen. Walter was behind them, and then Walter's like doing the dialogue, and Paige is like, Walter, and she kind of does like a face, like, dude, there's somebody here talking to us.
Yeah.
But I was like, he's working.
He's working on it,
He's doing something.
Yeah, and it was an issue because Paige Happy does it later in the episode where she draws on the, whiteboard and nobody's anything on it.
Yeah, so I just was like, he's not talking to himself there. He's doing something.
But he does do that a lot.
Right.
Man.
But he draws this diagram and he's like, we can do it. So we just have to get out there. Walter and Toby are the ones that drive together in one vehicle. And they have kind of like an awkward drive a little bit. Toby mentions, hey, you're not saying anything. Your lips are moving, but you're not saying anything.
Right.
And then
calls him out
on it. And Toby and Paige have been kind of talking about how Walter is talking to himself.
Right, so they kind of realize, okay, he needs help. We need somebody to talk to him. Right. And Toby also finds Megan's ashes in a coffee can in the glove compartment. Right.
Very awkward.
So awkward.
But also, it's like he didn't want to... That's like a letting go moment.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. And he probably wanted to do, some sort of justice. He probably felt like to a point he maybe let her down, so he wanted to make up for it in whatever way.
In some way, yeah.
Putting her in a black urn, which she hated. which, you know,
Right.
she wouldn't have liked. So,
And he probably hadn't cried, like, for her,
yeah,
like, just kind of
exactly.
let it out. So it's like, of course you haven't disposed of, or not disposed, but, you know, like, gotten rid of this coffee can once
Right.
you obviously lay her somewhere. It's like, you still just have this coffee can, and you don't want to let go. So sad. I don't know. I know it's, like, weird, but I think it's kind of cute and sentimental because it's Walter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like he did not want to let go of his sister.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's just weird in the
It
glove
is very-
compartment.
Yeah, almost
Safe?
seems...
He was
Yeah.
like, it's safe here. I was like, is it?
And Sylvester and Happy have their drive, and theirs is very sweet because Sylvester's like humming or like singing a song, and she's like, "Got a song on your heart?" And then he mentions Megan, and she's like, "And you're smiling about it?" And he's like, "Yeah, like we did everything we wanted together. There's no regrets, like even till the last moment." If there was such a sweet moment, and Happy at that point is like, like thinks about it, and he even asks her, "What's on your mind?" She's like, "Oh, nothing." But
that totally gets her thinking.
Totally, and that's the start of the
about
end over there,
Toby.
where they have that kiss, which we will get to. So they arrive to the station with the tree, and they're looking at it, and they need to inflate basically the tarps, making it look like balloons, to go over the entire building. And it just happens that it stops raining, because, you know, for Scorpion, everything just happens right when you need it to. But it happens to start raining, or to stop raining, excuse me. And Toby tells Paige about Megan's ashes. And the way he says it, chock full of sister.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what? And he has to really tell her. So they're definite. I like that they kind of put them together in this episode. Toby and Paige, to have like their
Kind
own
of team up to
yeah, which you
help
don't really
Walter.
see.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Very cute.
Yeah.
So as they are preparing to inflate the balloons, Toby inhales the helium and starts to sing a song. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Do you want to sing it for us?
I'm not sure that I know it.
Oh, shocking. You guys should hear Susannah. She can sing.
Oh,
That sucks. I really don't know it. Also, I'd sing. I can't sing, but I'd still sing. But I don't really know it.
let's hear you guys.
Cabe joins in with the helium, joins in on the song.
It was
It's
already
very cute.
surprising that Cave joins in.
Right.
And then we get Happy joining in.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
Very
Really?
cute. Very cute.
Yeah, loved it.
It's
And
nice.
then my favorite part was right after Happy sings, "Thank you." I saw you were getting on that, and I was
Thank
like, this
you.
guy.
Yes, that's it.
For the holidays.
Definitely don't know the song.
You know, I'm sure I knew it at one point.
Oh,
But,
okay.
okay, my favorite part was after Happy does her little singing, Toby's face and his reaction to that. Did anyone else see that? It was hilarious.
He's like,
he was
"What is
so
this?"
confused.
Yep.
So funny. Man.
Then they're there. They're trying to fix the cracked wall or the station, and then they hear or feel what it seems like an earthquake. Thanks, Zach, for that. It seems like an earthquake.
Yes,
But
but what
it's-
they think is an earthquake.
What they think it's an earthquake, but it's not. And Happy says that it's a concrete crack. She's like, "I know my concrete." So everyone
Yeah.
looks at her like,
It's a pressure
"How
crack."
do you know that?" She's like, "I know my concrete."
And she knows it's 15 feet thick.
Yeah.
Like, really?
It's like,
You measured that? I was like, I'm pretty sure it was 14 and a half, girl. She's like, it's 15. Man.
And so they have to head. They are like, "Well, isn't there a nearby dam?" Like, they say, I think like an hour away or something, like an hour and a half away. So they head to the dam, and there is a giant crack on the wall. They can't evacuate people, though, so they start to think about what could possibly happen. They can't evacuate people in the area because there are no roads because of the rain, El Nino, you remember all that? And they have about 24 hours before this dam breaks through,
Right.
right?
Yeah, well, pretty much no one can leave the valley for 24
Right.
hours because there's
nowhere to
roads
go.
out- yeah.
There's nowhere to go. And it's 68 minutes till it collapses. The dam is what Sylvester says at this point. We have about 68 minutes. And the immediate problem that they say, it's to stop the crack. And then make sure that it doesn't overflow into the city.
Which is the eventual problem.
Which is the eventual.
I love the way they broke that down.
Yeah.
You know, it was really quick.
Yes, it was done very quick. And that's when Toby says like a pun with
Damn it to hell.
Damn it to hell. And then she's like, "Damn puns at this time," and he's like,
Yeah.
"It wasn't on purpose," or whatever he says.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then I love it later because then she's on the boat and then there's that little sticker or something that says, "It's my damn boat." Or something.
yeah.
And she looks at it, she was clever.
She's
You know,
like,
I was like,
clever.
oh, you're
Yeah.
appreciating that now, right?
Yeah, thinking of somebody,
Exactly.
are you? Are you?
Exactly.
So the plan is to freeze the one side of the cracked dam.
Yes.
And I was like, what? And even Cabe is like, this is not the North Pole. Like, what do you mean freeze? So they use ammonium nitrate, which we were told from the beginning of the episode. Toby like walks in, there's one more bag in Cabe's car. So they have one bag. So they're able to create this reaction that will freeze the area of the crack, but only for 90 seconds.
Right.
At the same time, somebody has to be on the other side of that wall
sealing the crack.
Sealing the crack with a concrete, a quick drying concrete that they are going to make.
They added chalk to, thanks to Cabe's dad.
Right, because it speeds it up. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, that he threw in a little tip.
That he threw in a tip, and that Happy's like, your dad's smart. Yeah, like, very, you know.
A little connection.
Yeah, that was great. And it's funny because Toby's like, I can't propel down the side of a dam.
Sciatica?
Yeah.
Right. And you also have very nervous man syndrome.
Yes. And Cabe's like, 100,000 people are going to die. I got this.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Such
and
a
for
badass.
a second, it seemed like he was saying, 100,000 people are going to die.
You have to do this.
You have to do it. Like, really? They're going to send him down there?
Yeah.
Really, you guys? But no, of course, Cabe went to save the day.
Badass.
He always loves to be a hero.
Right? He's so badass.
He does it well.
Yeah. So they have 90 seconds till ice melts, and if not, the water basically comes gushing through the cracks, killing Cabe, and even them that will be on the dam. So you got to work very quickly. And you have to release, obviously, the ammonium nitrate solution. They do it in a tube, but you have to release it at the exact angle to make sure it goes right to the crack.
And at the exact time that he gets down there.
Yeah, it's just so many things that I would not be able to do. As they're doing it, I'm like amazed. I'm like, can this really happen? Can this be done this quickly?
Right?
Like, man.
We're just trying to get like the rest of the drink out of the bottom of our cup. We're like, how do we... So what they're doing is much more complicated.
Much more complicated. So they're able to do it. It freezes, and then they're like, okay, Cabe, go and do it. And Cabe is like swinging.
Yes.
Propelling, like just climbing down, and has that concrete thing, and he starts to like fill it in the crack. Yeah, and it looks kind of cool. I'm like, yeah, all right. And then he can't reach one side. Yeah. Because, we have to have the, like...
Right, I was like, it's too easy.
It's too easy. You have to have that moment where time is running out, and we have plenty of those in this episode. Time's running out, and Cabe's got to get that end of the crack, or else it's not going to work. So he's like, I need to, like, swing.
More slack.
Like Tarzan.
Right.
And he does it. It doesn't look as good as Tarzan, but he does it, and he's able to reach... Gets it in. That's what she said.
But then that makes the rope jump the wheel. And then they can't, like, crank him back up, pretty much.
Right.
So he's like, oh, not a problem. I'll just crawl back up. He says it all casually.
Yeah, he's like, I'll be up in a second.
Cool.
And he uses the concrete to make steps, like rock climbing. Right. But it does snap. Sylvester almost, like, he cries when the thing snaps and, like, turns away.
Oh, yeah. At one point. But luckily at that point, it kind of seemed like he was crawling enough.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was just going to fall back.
Right. He had already started crawling, but still Sylvester freaked out. And then this is when we start to get dam failure. Damn. And it's because of this blockage that they've done that the reservoir isn't draining. So pressure is building up, and it will destroy the dam.
It's like debris and crap from the mudslide.
Exactly.
That got stuck in there.
And Toby's like, the dam needs a colonoscopy.
Yeah, he was like, who rocked the GI? What was it? Who rocked his GI rotations? Yeah. This guy. I was like, oh, awesome.
And it's like funny because when they're talking about it, they're like, imagine like when he's describing it, and Cave's like, I don't want to think about that. And it's like, yeah, nobody wants to think of it the way you're describing
big
it.
Intestine, we're gonna clear you guys.
Huge. Yeah. And Sylvester's like, it's like the size of my wingspan. Yeah, right. So they have to make this kind of a motored propeller that they get. They get the propeller from a boat.
Yes.
Which is so smart. They need to clear like a plumber clears a sink, is what Happy says.
Right.
So they make a propeller using the motor from the boat. They get a battery from Cabe's car, and then Toby scratches his car. So not only did he dent his car already.
Right. It's a rough day for the car.
Huge, not like a little scratch, like a huge scratch. And they also need like a sucking tube, basically, so that they can let it go, the propeller go, like a giant hose, like, like a vacuum. Exactly.
I also like that they added the little camera in too.
Oh,
like
right.
A little GoPro. I was like, oh, there really is like a colonoscopy.
Yeah. And did they? I noticed that they had that, but did they mention they were gonna put a camera on it?
For a second, she's just like, "Hey, pass me the camera."
Oh, okay. So it was like addressed.
Like, take it on there or something.
I did notice that.
I was like, oh, that's smart.
Yeah. And it's funny because they're like preparing the thing, and I like the scene where Cabe is like sharpening the teeth.
Yeah, right.
And Happy's like, it needs to go through X amount of stuff, blah, blah, blah. Make sure it's really sharp. And he like,
badass.
yeah, he like touches it and then his finger is bleeding. My finger is also bleeding.
Yeah, right.
So we are both badasses.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
That's the same.
That's, yeah. So for those of you that are not watching, that are hearing us, yes, my finger is bleeding, but that's okay. Not a big deal. So Cabe shows off. He's a badass. And they're able to put finally this thing that they've created, this propelling motor whatever. Mm-hmm. They're throwing it in the water, and Cabe immediately mentions, when this goes through, the water is gonna like come rushing through.
Like,
we gotta wrap it. We gotta get out ASAP.
And at this point, I'm kind of like, really? So why are you gonna let the little girl in front of you? Shouldn't you be in front? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even when you cross the street, how you kind of let the girl. How the guys, supposed to maybe walk around for each other. I'm all for sexism, whatever, feminine, whatever. But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, put yourself in front of the little girl who could easily get sucked in. You could just like sprawl yourself out. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
right?
It's very true. But maybe it's because Happy knows what she's doing better, like holding the thing,
like guiding it down or whatever.
There's probably reason to the madness.
Happy's a badass. He's like, she can handle herself.
Right.
But those shoes.
We'll talk about that in just a second. But it works. The thing starts to clean everything out slowly but surely. It gets stuck with Pinus mercata. Is that what he called it?
Pine tree.
Pine tree. She's like, is that fancy for a pine tree? And they think they can't do it. And then Happy's like, no, Toby, like, kick it in gear, put it full force, and it cleans through it. And just as the waves start to come, or the power of the water starts to rush through them, Cabe gets out, but Happy gets pulled into the water because the thing gets stuck to her shoe. Your damn shoe. Once again. Seriously?
Last time I had her hanging upside down.
Right? Your boot needs to go. You need to stick
maybe get like a strap on.
Yeah.
Maybe some Velcros, Happy.
Maybe. Or just put your pants over your boot buckles. Something. Because this is not working.
A lot of solutions there.
So many things.
Her in trouble.
Really.
Literally putting your life in danger.
But didn't you
deadly shoes.
Didn't you think it was cute in that moment where she fell? When Toby wanted to jump in, like, right away. Immediately. And Kay was like,
so cute.
No, you can't just jump in there. It would have been, like, complete suicide. Yeah. There was nothing you could have done. And, like, they kind of they yell a little bit because he's like, trust Walter. And he's like, Walter's been talking to himself all day. Like, I can't trust Walter.
Right.
And it's like, Walter says, no, we can do it. We just have to arrive to the next area where she's going, the direction she's going, and stop her from going into the drain and into the turbine and all that. So it's like, oh, perfect. So it seems real easy.
Yeah.
Not. They get like this net, this like thick net, and they use weights, like
big bags of something. Yeah,
and
like heavy bags.
Heavy bags.
Grab those.
And they time it perfectly, of course.
Yeah, right.
Of course. They see the motor go.
That was kind of cool because they get like somewhat of a warning.
Right? Which would make sense that the motor's leading her.
Exactly.
So the motor comes, and even I actually didn't write it down, but like Sylvester says, like, based on her height and her weight, she has this amount of time before she drowns.
Right.
Did you write? I didn't write exactly.
It was like 64 seconds or something.
Right. And when they get down there and they're waiting for her, Sylvester says 29 seconds. And then they're watching, and then they see the motor go, and then they drop this net looking thing.
What I liked about that was that this was such like a simple solution.
Right.
Like they're pretty much like catching her like a fish.
Yes.
But like it's something that, okay, like maybe anyone could have thought of. Like it's clever, you know, it's not really like a genius thing, but to think of it that quickly was a genius thing. I was like, I like that, you know? It was a simple solution.
I agree. It was like a fish.
Like, oh, I didn't know that does that, you know? And like mix ingredients and stuff.
Like Something very believable.
Something
it's
we could have
just
thought of. Yeah.
maybe not as quickly.
Right, yeah.
That's so true.
Give me a couple days.
Give me a couple days. Perfect. So
Just
if I'm drowning, I'm just going to hope I drown in 4 days. Monse. You hang out until I figure it out.
Walk it off.
And they do stop her, but they have an issue because the thing's stuck on her shoe. Your damn shoe. You can't even take it off. Like, geez. And 4 of them have to pull her up.
Yeah.
Because it was that strong.
That was a good moment. I like that.
I liked that they needed so much force to get her out. And you think everything's fine, but no, there's still like 20 minutes left of the episode, so you know it's not fine.
Another problem.
Another problem. The turbines are not fine. 2 are down, and 1 isn't enough.
Right.
And at this point, it was when Paige gives that speech. How did you think of that? What did you think of that speech? The speech about about the families and all those people out there wanting to celebrate Christmas. It was just kind of like, obviously they weren't just gonna give up, Paige.
Right. And I was kind of, I don't know if it's weird. I was kind of like, so just because it's Christmas, you think?
So if this was,
so if it was like Easter, or if
right?
it was like
if it was January 7th, it's no more. Yeah, I was just like, they're not gonna give up, obviously, but she has to give a pep talk, I guess, to give them, you know, the reassurance they need as geniuses.
Right.
And at that point, Walter seems to be talking to himself again. And Toby's like, hello, like, what's going on? You just missed the speech, yada, yada, yada. You need to fight your nature and talk to us, or to me. And that's when light bulb for Walter. He's like, exactly, fight the nature, fight nature.
That's
the
what
river
the river needs to do.
Fight nature and go in reverse.
Reverse.
So that it doesn't create the issue of the overflow and killing 100,000 people. So they're basically trying to kind of ease the pressure from one reservoir to the next. The Kesaman Reservoir is the one nearest to where they are, and they're trying to kind of balance it out. And they do that with creating a tsunami bomb to create a monster wave that will help reverse the water.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it has to be dropped in the exact position once again.
Right.
Up and away from the dam.
So it doesn't damage the dam.
Right. And this is when Happy does the little drawing on again. Which
ends up being pointless anyway.
When she was drawing it, I was like, I wonder if she's really drawing it or if there's like a stand-in who is the hand of... Yeah. Because
I feel like that one she could have drawn. The other one for sure. The other diagram
with
like the motor and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That one totally seemed like pre-drawn.
Like pre-drawn. Okay. Yeah.
But that one, you know, she did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, she just says if it's dropped in this position, the explosion will go away from the dam and obviously save everybody. So they get ready to do that. Walter and Paige have to go back to the dam to get as much of the energy source as they can. And that's when they realize that the Christmas lights need to be turned off.
Right.
So Ralph comes to the rescue.
Right.
And at this point, everyone's on a mission. Sylvester and Cabe are trying to fix the walls that are cracking still. In the inside, they're using the quick-drying concrete. And Toby and Happy are making the bomb. Walter and Paige are headed back to the dam. So everyone's already doing something. But the Christmas lights need to be turned off.
Yeah, which we didn't 1,000% get. We understood Walter was like, everyone's gonna die.
Right.
Why exactly? I assume maybe because it would cause like a huge surge. Maybe like the power would start exploding. And yeah,
that's totally because we went. Yeah, they didn't touch back on it.
We were like, did they say exactly why they would die?
No, he just mentioned it and then they moved on. But that's what I assume.
We trust Walter.
We know.
They die. They die.
Right. We know that you know what you're doing, Walter. So we believe you. But they asked Ralph to send an emergency alert.
Yeah, they use Ralph again.
Ralph,
he's totally part of the team.
He is.
He might not be there all the time because he's real little and fragile. But he's totally part of the team. He's useful in every mission.
He's little and fragile.
You know, gotta protect him.
Yeah, and he's at home, and he's taking care of his babysitter. She's downstairs. He's like, I gave her a soda, and he's like upstairs on the computer, cracks into the system, sends out an emergency alert, and Walter's like, be direct so that they know this isn't a joke, and Paige is like, no, appeal to their emotions, write this exact text, and the text is sent. And Sylvester reads it. And the way he reads it is the way probably you would want the person to read it. Right. But you could have read that so differently. And he read it so perfectly for you to get that moment. Yeah. And then, this one.
Okay, wait, the alert. Do you think, what do you think you would have done if you got that alert? Like, literally on your phone? Do you think they would have, because I don't know if I would have think, like, that's a prank.
If I was home.
Who did this?
Yeah, if I was home, I think I would look at it, then I'd be like, go on Facebook. Is anyone talking about it? Check what people are saying. And then if, maybe I look outside and my neighbors do it, I'll be like, okay, maybe I should.
Why not?
Why not? Exactly.
In case it is. Okay.
In case, I don't know if I would have done it as fast as it happened, and that's my complaint about that. It was like, they just sent it, they look out, and they're like, oh, nobody's doing it.
Second, and
then everyone does it.
At the same time.
Everyone
was home.
Right?
Everyone was there to be... You know?
Right, what if you weren't home and you got the text?
What if you were watching a really good show and,
and you were
just need to be like, okay, hold on, let me get to commercial break.
Yeah, let me wait 5 minutes. It happened so
quick.
fast. And I was like, no, that would never. No, don't play.
Yeah.
Don't
I mean,
play.
Toby even made a little comment. He was like, that's miracle adjacent. I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're aware that it's a little ridiculous.
A little bit. And then we get prepared for Toby to throw this bomb. While they were making that bomb, that was so fun to watch them make this bomb. They used like crystal salt.
Rubidium or something.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah,
Rubidium explodes on contact with water. I was like, what?
Right.
And then he was like, and then the casing needs to dissolve. So they used rock salt. It was so pretty. It was like a little egg. Loved it.
And I love that also Toby kind of shrieks when she uses the fire extinguisher to like
Make it from liquid to solid or
right,
something.
exactly. Yeah. And she's like, well, it worked. Like, and he like freaked out, but that was
scream.
great.
Yeah.
He has to throw the the bomb, and she has like a laser that's pointing into the ocean, and it's like, this is where you're supposed to
It was a good way
land.
for them to do that.
Yeah, because I
right?
was like, how would you know? It's dark at this point. Like, yeah, so she has like a laser, and it's like pointing, and he's like, okay.
Awesome.
And then he like throws it, and it looks like he's shot. What's that? Shot putting?
Shot putting, yeah.
And it like is not even kind of near the laser.
The effort's there. It looks like it's gonna go for
It looks
sure.
like, and then it just falls.
Yeah.
Just plonk.
For a second, I was like, oh, is it just the angle that we're at?
Yeah.
But no.
No, it fell way short. Toby, you need to get your arm a little stronger. And they think it's like, that's it. A failure is going to happen in 2 minutes. And that was also so fast. Sylvester's like, we have 2 minutes till failure. 10, 9.
Yeah, right.
What? You just said 2 minutes? And then like 2 sentences were said, and now we're at 10 seconds failure.
Yeah.
Those were some really quick 2 minutes. But Toby like apologizes, and he's like, I didn't mean to kill anyone. If we're about to die. Da, 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 da. The bomb goes off, and there's a huge wave you see, and they save the day. The water is going away. They've made nature not do its routine, whatever he was saying. What were they calling it? He's like, make
dang it,
reverse nature, fight nature.
Fight nature.
They fought
Fight its
nature.
nature.
Right. They
Yes.
fought nature and made it reverse, and once again they saved the day.
Yeah,
Which is what they always do. Of course.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter finale.
Right.
Would have been awful if this is the one you fail.
Right, and with no praise.
No praise.
They saved Christmas, and they didn't get any credit.
Nothing.
They deserve everything from Santa.
They do. And right when it's over, obviously you have to tell Ralph to put the Christmas lights back on because it's Christmas and people need to enjoy them. But he says, your mom seems to really enjoy them.
Cute.
So adorable.
Cute.
Yeah. And Paige actually starts to tell Walter about opening up.
Yeah.
And then he kind of is like not listening. And he's like,
Totally glazed
what
over.
did you say? And she's like, nothing. We're just going to go. Like, it's time to go.
And we kind of think maybe that's all we get from them.
Yeah, yeah. And we head back to the garage. Toby calls first on the sled, and then they're like, we don't have any snow. We just used it. Hello. Did you forget what we just did? Goodness, Toby. Happy's eating gingerbread cookie in a house and whatnot. And like Sylvester's also excited about gingerbread.
Holiday
cookie.
spirit.
Holiday spirit.
That's cute.
Walter's listening to voicemails.
Yeah.
I-
One very important one. We finally got him.
I know, there he is.
Finally got him. We got his voice.
12 weeks.
Didn't get to see him.
Whole 12 weeks we've been waiting to see Drew. I mean, I don't
We
care.
talked about him like every episode.
Right? Every episode, and he's not even, didn't even show up.
Yeah. Wishful thinking.
Now, do you think that was really him, or was that like a extra that sounds like him? Because it's like, how,
He probably just recorded it on his iPhone at home and
then sent it
emailed
in.
that right in.
They're like, here you go. What did you need me to say? Perfect. Got you. Because I'm not in LA right now. I'm not in LA. But he's there, and he quickly erases it.
Yeah.
And that's
That
it.
was quick. I felt like, man,
Yeah.
that was such a quick decision, right?
Super quick. He didn't even care. He was like, no, you don't need to hear.
Wow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that he wasn't, like, crazy about him, but I didn't know, like, he would do that, you know? Like, get in the way of a father and his son. Like, it's Christmas, right? I mean, that's
But that wasn't
rough
for,
goings.
that wasn't for, I'm going to defend Walter. That message wasn't for Ralph. It was for Paige.
Yeah.
And
And I
he's
guess he was
like-
apologizing, saying, like, he's been crap. But
Yeah.
still.
And he says, like, I
him a
spoke to Ralph, but I
Right.
didn't get to talk to you.
But, you know.
He was like, no, because he's like, no, you don't need to talk to my girl. You do not need to talk to my girl.
You're right.
Yeah. But he erases that message and then gets an even better message
Yes.
that he has been given the $15 million grant that he was going to submit the rocket for to help help Megan.
Yes.
He was continue to help. He was going to use it to continue with Megan's research. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. And he gets it, $15 million. And he, like, everyone's congratulating him, and then he, like, is like, thank you, and then notices the cage for Ferret Bueller.
Yeah.
And then he just snaps out of it.
Did he even say thank you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, right?
I don't think
just
so
like,
at all.
They're like, hello. And like Toby's immediately like, can we go to the dog race?
Yeah, yeah. And he, like, completely snaps out of it because sees the empty cage and orders everyone to look for Ferret Bueller in such a snappy way. Like, now he, like, yells it out. And he finds him. He does find him. He's about to go out the door. And you're like, why are you going out the door?
That's right?
That's what you said.
I was like, why are you opening the door? You got to keep the doors closed.
He obviously didn't open the door and run away.
This guy.
Come on, Walter. Sometimes I wonder if you are a genius. Come on. He didn't open the door and run away. But he hears him and he turns around and he picks it up. And he, like, he's like, I found him, puts him in the cage. And he's still freaking out. And Paige is like, it's okay. Like, she's in the, he or she, I don't know. Ferret is in the cage.
And starts freaking out a little bit.
Yeah. And then he's like, I could have lost her. Then he says, I didn't want to lose her. I didn't want to lose Megan. And then Paige walks over, hugs him, as he's still kind of freaking out.
That was sweet.
Very sweet. And then he starts crying.
See all the tears in his eyes.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, you must feel release.
Yeah.
To cry.
And it was well done too, because I don't know that I saw an actual tear fall. You know, it was all
holding
welling
it
up in his eyes. I was like, good, because that's totally
there was
Walter.
One
he wouldn't, like,
little one,
right until like the very end. Yeah,
very end.
But he would totally hold it in as much as he can. Your sister died, you know, but you're like still gonna hold it in your eyes.
Yeah,
love it.
Well done, Elias Gable. Well done. And Sylvester also tearing up, like facing each other, looking at him. Sylvester also had a nice moment, but. You know Sylvester has cried. You know Sylvester has grieved. You know Sylvester is feeling different than what Walter is feeling.
Yes, we had a couple people commenting earlier, I forgot who it was, saying how Sylvester still had his wedding ring on. I didn't catch that.
Is it still a Band-Aid?
Oh, I don't know.
If you guys are
actual ring. But that he was still wearing it.
That's adorable.
I totally catch that.
I mean, why would you take it off?
Right, no, it totally makes sense. But it's cute.
And so a great moment between, I guess, as an acting point, great moment for Elias Gable, great moment for the team, and then he like has like another light bulb, and he's like, I have a great idea, and then, is it a great idea or is it crazy because he's giving away $15 million? Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's a little crazy just because I feel like, you still could have made a really great gesture towards the research that you were originally going to do. You know what I mean? Just because she's not around anymore, it's too late for her, doesn't mean she wouldn't want you to help other people with the same condition. Not to mention maybe fix the roof in your garage.
I mean, little things.
El Nino. It's cold.
Here's what will bother me. If in like 3 episodes, he's like, I have no money.
Right.
I need money to do
take on this crazy case.
And it's like, you just had $15 million. Like, I get the gesture, but it's like, you still could have sent her off in the highest way, by doing something with this money. Lots of others.
Named a bunch of stars after her,
right? Name them all after. Name the sky after Megan. Like,
Megan Sky.
Megan Sky. So they head to the beach. They build a California snowman. Yeah. And they prepare the rocket because they're going to send a rocket up to the stars with Megan's ashes. Because she loved the stars.
Still in the coffee can,
Still in the coffee can. But she loved the stars. So they are out there. Toby, this is where Toby and Happy have their moment at the beach. So Happy approaches Toby and is like, okay, basically tells him, like, I am feeling very thankful that I'm alive. I don't want to have any more regrets. Last year, I kissed you, and it didn't work. Can we try this in reverse?
The other way,
Yeah.
And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. No logic. But I agree.
And then he like kisses her.
Makes sense,
Oh, it is very cute. Yes.
I loved it.
Me too. And it loved not a peck. It was like
such a good kiss.
Such a good kiss.
All about it.
She says, "Quality kiss, Doc."
Yeah.
Good work.
Good work.
Good work.
It was. It was not a television pretty little kiss.
No.
You got in there.
No. And Walter and Sylvester, before Walter and Paige's moment, Walter and Sylvester have a moment when they're at the rocket, and he says, the husband should do it.
Right.
And then he mentions, we haven't talked about it, but we're technically brothers-in-law. He's like, that name is never, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
A little too formal.
A little too formal, yeah. How about we just say brothers?
Yeah.
So cute.
That was cute.
And that needed to happen. That conversation did need to happen.
Right.
You're right. You were married to my sister.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went from being just like your employee, your friend,
Yeah.
And now we're brothers.
Now we're family.
Yeah.
Like, 100%.
Partners.
100%. And then he has his moment with Paige.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. You mentioned it, that he launched the rocket from his phone. Just looking at his phone, he's like, all right, we're going to launch this rocket.
Like, what app is that?
What app launches
they
your
really
rocket?
do have an app for everything.
Everything. And they are all looking up at the rocket as it's going away. And, Walter tells Paige, I was listening to what you said, that moment where it seemed like he wasn't listening.
Right.
And he tells him about opening up. And it's very sweet.
Yeah.
And she's like, good. And then she has her hand out. And then they hold hands.
Did you think they were going to kiss? Or do you think because we already got a kiss?
Yes, because we already got a kiss. I didn't think they were going to kiss.
Right.
But I liked that it was so like, hold my hand.
Yeah, and it wasn't her just grabbing his hand. He had to make the decision. For a second, I thought maybe he wasn't going to, right? And be like, we're going to get old Walter again.
Yeah.
But no, he totally grabbed her hand. It was cute.
Yeah, so I loved it.
It was cute. Yeah, there was a lot of moments, like, towards the whole last, 15 minutes where you just get, choked up. Lots of emotion.
Lots of emotion. It was good. I cried. I saw this episode, 2.5 times, and I cried.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Cried. The first time, I was like, why? Watched it just full fan way. This is the end. Should we predict anything for the next season? They didn't give us anything.
Yes.
You want to predict? Do you have anything to predict?
I don't know. I want to predict that Ray will come back. I think that's more wishful thinking than prediction.
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
All right.
Wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking / prediction. I agree. I hope we get Ray back in this next half of the season. Because it's like, why only for this half? Bring him back. I don't need to see him every day, but bring him back. He needs to come back. He's Walter's first, technically only friend aside from the people inside of Scorpion.
Right, exactly.
So bring him back. Will we see Drew?
I don't know. We were wrong this whole season, so let's go with a maybe no.
And now he's going to show up. He's going to be in the first episode.
One, yeah. It's going to open with Drew.
It's going to open with Drew after we have been calling it. Will we see Walter's parents again?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Maybe. I mean,
right?
They were cute.
They were cute.
likable.
I liked Walter's dad. I liked that dynamic, that relationship. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
I definitely think we're going to keep around. I can't think of her name.
Good.
But Homeland.
Catherine Cooper, I
Yeah,
think.
Catherine Cooper, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep her around.
Yeah, keep her around. I think that's it, right? All right. Well, thank you all so much again for joining us week after week. We will obviously be back when the show returns.
Next year.
I know, next year. We're already working on guests for the second half of the show. So tune in when they come back. Susannah, where can everyone follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Susannah_Kim, on Instagram at Susannah Kim. It's SUSANNAH.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Comment, tweet. If you are deprived of Scorpion, tweet us. We will feel the pain with you. But just look up stories of Elias Gable and Catherine McPhee because they're so freaking cute together.
So cute.
Yes, have a wonderful end of the year.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.